All right, we had some pretty good news on the housing front today. Housing starts up 8.3% in the latest period. Mortgage applications up 6.3%. You can see right now, and this is an interesting study out of the new Bankrate that reveals that real estate remains foreigners' top long-term investment. That is U.S. real estate, more to the point as well. So to Bankrate.com Chief Financial Analyst Greg McBride, where are they buying, Greg? What particularly gets them?
Well, what we're seeing is that a lot of first-time home buyers and even move-up buyers, they're looking at that townhome or that starter home, or looking to move from the townhome or starter home into that single-family place out in the suburbs where they have a little bit more elbow room with the neighbors. A lot of people really sort of viewing that principal residence as the best place to put their money over periods of 10 years or more. It's the third year in a row, Neil, that we've found that this is Americans' preferred long-term investment. Cash remains a close second, again, for long time horizons. That part a little bit disturbing. All
right, so when you look at that, what does it say about the future of real estate? I mean, we've been recently seeing a spate of good real estate, housing-related numbers that follow on the heels of what have been a steady comeback from the meltdown almost a decade ago. Do you still see that remaining in place?
Well, I mean, housing, first and foremost, it's a place to live. From a rate of return standpoint, if you're looking for a safe bet over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, put your money in the bank. The transaction costs involved with buying and selling, it's going to be very difficult to come out ahead. If, on the other hand, this is a place you're buying, you intend to be there 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're certainly putting the odds in your favor. From an investment standpoint, it is a long-term investment. But even then, on a rate of return basis, stocks still likely to outperform real estate, particularly residential real estate, over longer periods of time. You just have to be willing to take some risk. And what we find is that a lot of individual investors have not warmed up to the equity markets. Despite this bull market, they still view real estate as that safe haven over the long term.
All right, and particularly given, equity returns on average so strong over the last, 8 or 9 years, that would give them caution as well, right?
Well, but what we've seen is that people just haven't warmed up to stocks at all. I mean, despite year after year of pretty strong returns. I mean, over the last several years of surveying people about this, we found that the stock market is up over 50% during that period of time, and yet people's attitudes toward the stock market have not changed on a relative basis compared to real estate or cash for long investment horizons. And just in the past 12 months, stock market was up 16% from the time we polled last year to the time we polled this year, but yet the percentage of Americans pointing to stocks as their preferred investment barely budged.
That's interesting. Real quickly on foreign buyers, I noticed in the New York metropolitan area these, $100 million penthouse, price tags that go wanting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, at the upper end of the market, that seems to be slowing. We're hearing similar reports in hot high-end markets like Palm Beach that it's not dead, but on that stratospheric side, not what it was. What do you make of that?
Yeah, there's just, the prices have really gotten frothy on the high end, again, in a lot of those luxury markets. And you've just seen demand die out a little bit, and it's really affected the price trajectory. Instead of those prices going up by leaps and bounds, we've seen some softening on the high end of the market.
And you still see that continuing? On that end?
For the near term. Now, I did see a separate study today that showed that high net worth investors actually moving money out of hedge funds and stocks into real estate. So, maybe those investors are actually looking at things a little bit differently now that they've seen some softening in prices.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Greg McBride, Bankrate.com. He's the Chief Financial Analyst.